Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It's our day 2 in London and we are at the Maritime Greenwich. My first impression about Greenwich is not really great. It's a big landscape that requires a lot of walking, so I said, I don't need another day of walking. Remember, we walked half of London yesterday. So we were suggested 4 significant sites that are worth seeing in this area. The Old Royal Naval College, the Queen's House, the Royal Observatory, and the ship Cathay. Okay, but still I'm not impressed. But I'll give it a chance. So I quickly googled which one is more interesting, and lo and behold, I know I said I love history, but I think in the age of social media, gossip is more appealing. So we ranked the 4 sites according to gossips, and voila! So what do you think? Among the 4 sites, of course, we went to the Queen's House, where juicy gossips await us. The Queen's House is a magnificent classical building, first of its kind in London. The architect Inigo Jones used the Palladian principles of symmetry and proportion. And yes, it did not disappoint us with gossips. Officially, the press release is King James I gifted Anne the Royal Palace complex at Greenwich. But according to our inside man or woman, we will not reveal, of course, it was an apology present after King James lost his temper and swore in front of Queen Anne when she accidentally killed one of his favorite hunting dogs. Whew, very juicy. This is the thing that we love. We should not show this to our wives. Oh my god, we should delete this part. Historians would suggest that Anne was an assertive and shrewd political leader and insisted on this project to make that apology more heartfelt and sincere. Interesting, isn't it? So guys, it was designed by Inigo Jones, as I've said, and the Queen's House was England's first classical building. The shape, which is a letter H, it's a layout designed to symmetrically connect the 2 wings. Inspired by the Renaissance styles Jones had studied in Italy, a marked significant departure from the Tudor Gothic style that dominated the English architecture at the time. However, Anne of Denmark passed away before the house was even completed in 1635. So she did not actually see the fruit of this apology. Anyway, let's go back to the history. During the English Civil War, the house fell into disuse. In the late 17th century, the Queen's House became part of the Royal Hospital for Seamen. It served as the residence for hospital staff and was later incorporated into the overall architectural scheme of the hospital buildings and the riverfront. Of course, the gossips did not end there. There's more. The Queen's House is rumored to be haunted, with its most famous ghost story involving a photograph taken in the 1960s of the tulip stairs appearing to show a ghostly figure ascending from the stairs. And of course, not only that, there are a lot of unexplained sightings that has continued over the century. The latest being in 2002, a gallery assistant was talking to two colleagues when he reportedly saw a figure gliding across the balcony, dressed in an old-fashioned white-gray dress and passing through a wall. Interesting. Now I have goosebumps. Whether this is fact or fiction, it adds a layer of mystery to this historic site. The Queen's House remains an architectural icon and a symbol of England's transition to classical designs. Visitors today can marvel at its timeless beauty, learn about its royal history, and experience the art and stories that make it a cornerstone of Greenwich heritage. The next site we went in Greenwich was the Royal Observatory. This is very interesting because in this site is where we had our prenup shots. This is very interesting because on this site is where the Prime Meridian line passes. That's the thing, alright? Not the prenup. The Prime Meridian line is an imaginary line that represents the starting point for measuring longitude or the vertical line around the world. It divides the Earth into two hemispheres, the Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere. It was officially designated by the International Meridian Conference in 1884 as the 0 degrees longitude and serves as the reference line for the global coordinate system used in navigation, geography, and timekeeping. And speaking of the Royal Navy, our next destination in Greenwich is the Old Royal Naval College. In 1694, the Royal Hospital for the Seamen was built at the front of the Queen's House, which later on was formed into the Royal Naval College in 1873. Aside from these magnificent buildings of this enormous place, the Painted Hall is the most visited in this area. This place is beautiful. But wait, is there a scandal that we could gossip about? Oh no! Yes? Oh. Yes, the Painted Hall did not disappoint us. Well, according to history, this is a fact. When Admiral Horatio Nelson died in the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, he became a national hero. And he was lying in state here in the Painted Hall. However, this is the sensitive part. If you are sensitive or if you're eating, you can skip this part. Okay? Alright. So, however, to travel his remain back to England, the ship's surgeon used brandy as a preservative. What? Really? Well, at that time, there was no refrigeration, remember? So, they wanted his body to come back because he was a hero. So, they need to preserve him. So, they put him in a cask of brandy. Unbelievable. So, tens of thousands of people descended to Greenwich to express mourning and loss. Rumors have it during the time that some people just came to have a peek at the body soaked in brandy. Believe it or not? Speaking of brandy, let's talk about the Cutty Sark. Oh, no. Not the drink. Sorry. Put the bottle down. The real Cutty Sark, the ship. Here's the fun part. The name Cutty Sark comes from a witch in an old Scottish poem. Yep, a witch. But not your typical wart on the nose, broomstick riding type, alright? This one was young, pretty, and get this, sexy, alright? So how do we know she was sexy? Because she was wearing a Cutty Sark, which is a fancy Scottish word for sleepwear. So imagine this, witch running around in her Victoria's Secret nightie. Scandalous, isn't it? Right. In the poem, this fabulous witch chases the main guy, probably scaring the daylight out of him, alright? And then grabs the tail of his poor horse. Imagine the therapy bills for that horse. Now, this vibe of being fast, daring, and just a little sassy, that's why the ship got its name. And wow, it delivers. The Cutty Sark was one of the fastest ships of its time. It's like a sports car of the sea back then. Zooming pea from China and wool from Australia. What a legacy, huh? Witches, nighties, and record-breaking speed. Who needs Netflix with stories like this? So that's Greenwich for you guys. It's got history, scandals, ghosts, and even a hero marinated in alcohol. If that doesn't impress you, seriously, I don't know what will. Guys, if you like the video, please like and subscribe so I will feel more inspired to make more videos like this. See you in the next video.